The ability to find and buy good deals consistently is the lifeblood of your business as a real estate investor. Everyone knows that investors make money when they buy, not when they sell. Finding that good deal is critical, but man, it can seem super overwhelming, especially when you're new, about how to even find these good deals. Right now, the market's crazy. People are overpaying for properties by tens of thousands of dollars. It can be a little intimidating. If this is how you feel, make sure you stay to the end of this video. I'm going to give you several ways you can actively be looking for good deals in your market right now. What's going on, everybody? Henry Washington here, and today I'm going to talk to you about several ways you can be looking for good deals in your market right now. If you're still struggling with how to even identify what a good deal is, or knowing the numbers of what good deals look like in your market, click the link in the description. I've got a video that talks about just that. And as always, if you like this type of content, please smash that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up. It's going to help the algorithm. And when you help the algorithm, you'll get to see more awesome content just like this. And if you're getting good value, go ahead and give me a follow on Instagram. I'm at the Henry Washington on Instagram. So buying good deals right now is difficult because the market's hot, and that means there's not a ton of inventory and there is a ton of buyers, which means people are paying above asking for properties, and that creates a problem when you need to buy under market value. Let me give you a little insight as to how I continually buy good deals even in this hot market. I'm not looking to buy a deal. I'm looking to buy a situation. When you're buying under market value, you typically are looking for somebody who has two things. That person needs equity in their home and they need motivation. They need a reason to sell at a discount. Now you're asking yourself, why would anybody sell at a discount? Well, there's lots of reasons. It could be they're going through a divorce. It could be they had a death in the family and they need to unload this property. It could be that the property's in such terrible condition that it's very, very difficult for them to sell traditionally. There are lots of reasons why somebody is needing to sell, not wanting to, but needing to sell at a discount. And you have to get good at finding those people. And the better you are at finding those situations, the more deal flow you'll get. One of my first deals was a flip project, and we bought the house from a distressed seller who was just embarrassed at the condition of their home. They literally did not want anybody in and out of that house. We had to fight with her just to get us in there one time to take a look. She did not want it listed on the MLS, and she did not want people walking through her house because she was embarrassed at the distress, at the clutter, and at the things she had all over the place. And so we were able to convince her to give me 5 minutes. I walked the house, I ran the numbers, I made her an offer, and we got that deal closed in a couple of weeks. And it was such a relief to her to get rid of that property. And for me, the distress wasn't a big deal. We were going to renovate the house anyway. So we came in, we fixed up the house. We spent about 40 grand and we sold it and made a $60,000 to $70,000 profit. And this was one of my first deals. Finding situations is the way to go about finding great deals. All right, Henry. So how do I actually find these great deals? How do I actually find these situations? Well, awesome. I'm here to tell you. Finding great deals can be broken down into two categories. One is hustle leads, and hustle leads are things that take your time and effort to generate the leads. And then there's automated leads or paid leads. And those are things that take your money to generate the leads. I think when you're starting out, you need a healthy mix of both. And so let me give you a couple of ways under each strategy you can find deals. Number one under hustle leads is networking. And I know networking, super high level, right? Everybody knows you need to network, but you need to be strategically networking. You need to be networking with seasoned investors, investor-friendly real estate agents, and wholesalers. Why those three people? Because those three people have access and proximity to deal flow. And you want to be best friends with people who have deal flow. Get in your local real estate meetups, and you have to be in them every week consistently. Every time you show up, people need to know they're always here. They're looking for deals. They're hungry. You want people to associate you with wanting to buy good deals. And the best way to do that is just to be in the room consistently and networking with people. Find the movers and shakers in the room, the people doing the deals. Talk to them, ask them about their deals, tell them what you're looking to buy, take them to lunch. Whatever you can do to keep proximity to them is huge. Being close to them allows you proximity to those good deals, because every deal that they come across won't fit in their particular client's buy box. And when they have a deal that they would like to offload that doesn't fit one of their buyer's criteria, you want to be the person that they think about, right? You want to be that person they call and say, hey, I've been seeing you around these meetings. You've been talking about buying these deals. I got a house in this neighborhood. My other investors don't want it. Do you want to take a look at it? That's the phone call you want, right? That's a text message you want. But you're only going to get that by consistently networking. You can't just show up one time to a meeting and hope that helps. You have to consistently be in the room and consistently connecting with these people. I have a buyer who every month checks in with me consistently, sometimes twice a month. And all he does is send me a text message that says, hey, Henry, just checking in. Do you have anything right now? That's it. It takes him 10 seconds once or twice a month. But what that does is it lets me know that he is still actively looking for deals. He is a buyer. He's trying to get a deal done. And so when I do have a deal, his name is the first one that pops into my head, because I'm like, hey, I've got this deal. I'd really like to offload it. It's kind of a weight on my shoulders right now. Who could I call that I know will buy this thing? His name always pops to the forefront of my mind. And that's because he makes sure he stays on the forefront of my mind by consistently networking with me, even just via a little text message once or twice a month. That's absolutely something you can do. And also, you want to connect with wholesalers. Now, I'm going to give you a quick practical way you can connect with a bunch of wholesalers right now. Just go on Google and type in, how can I sell my house fast for cash? Put your mind in the mindset of a distressed seller, somebody who's got to unload a property quickly. And when you Google those terms with your city and state, you're going to get a list of results. And at the top of that list is going to be paid ads. And Google AdWords ads are expensive. And so people who are paying for their website to be ranked at the top of the list when people search to sell their home typically have good marketing budgets. Typically, wholesalers who have a good business of wholesaling have a good budget for marketing. And so when you go through those results, you want to look for a wholesaler with a local area code number, because they're more likely to be a local wholesaler instead of somebody nationwide. And what you want to do there is just say, hey, I am a buyer. I am actively looking for deals. Just send me anything you have in this market. I'd love to take a look and make an offer. You want to make sure you get on their buyers list, but you also want to make sure they send you anything they currently have. And then if they are truly local, get them to go to lunch with you, right? Go talk to them. Go try to build that rapport so that when they get deals, maybe you can get access to those deals before they send them out to the rest of their buyers list, right? Networking takes some effort. And if you can get kind of on the good side of some of these people who have the deal flow, they'll think of you first, because they would rather just go to somebody directly who they know is going to get a deal closed rather than pushing it out to a bunch of people and hoping somebody grabs onto it. So make sure you get in the good graces so that they know, hey, this guy's a deal. This guy is doing deals. This guy wants to do deals. This guy wants to do deals. I'm going to talk to them first. So the second way you can look for deals through hustle leads is Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace. That is a good source of potential deals. People often go on there and post real estate they have for sale. When you go through there, you're going to see a bunch of stuff that isn't deals. There's lots of retail price stuff, but occasionally someone posts a good deal. You have to relentlessly and consistently search through Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace. You have to make it your job. If you're just going to look for 5 minutes every couple of weeks, then don't waste your time. You're never going to find anything. But if you pick an hour a day, 30 minutes a day, and you do it every single day, it's going to get boring and monotonous and annoying, and that's good, because that's how you know you're going to stumble across a good deal sooner or later. Because when somebody does post something that's a good deal, the people who are consistently looking see it first, they jump on it and they buy it, and you never even know it was posted. So you have to relentlessly and consistently look for good deals. What you're looking for is you're looking for listings where the pictures are just bad, cell phone pictures, dark pictures, where the property just doesn't show well. Maybe it's super duper dated, right? Maybe it's just dirty and they're still showing it, right? Those are the ones you want to jump on because those pictures indicate some level of distress. And I told you, you're looking for a situation, not just a house. The other thing, now this is gold. The other thing you want to be looking for in Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace is the real estate for rent sections. Real estate for rent. This is where landlords are posting properties that they are wanting to rent out. And what you're looking for there is the same thing. Hey, Mr. Landlord, I am not a renter, but I would love to make you an offer to purchase this property. Is that something you'd be interested in? Right? Now, sometimes they're going to say no. Sometimes they're going to say yes. And if they say yes, you got to be ready to take a look at that property and make an offer. But because the pictures aren't great, the type of tenant that they're attracting probably isn't a great tenant. As a landlord, a problem tenant is a big headache, and it makes you just want to not be in the business. Those landlords may be tired landlords, and you calling to offer them to make an offer on that property may be music to their ears. So this is a great way to find some of those leads. Now, here's a super pro tip. Instead of just calling them and saying, I'd like to make you an offer, try this tactic. Do your due diligence on the front side before you call them to figure out maybe what price range do I think my offer can fall in, right? It can be a big range. You don't have to be precise. And then call and say, hey, Mr. Landlord, my name is Henry. I saw you have this property for rent. I don't want to rent it out, but I would love to make you a cash offer. I think my offer can fall somewhere in the range of $120,000 to $175,000 for this house. Is that something you'd be interested in? That's a different conversation because now you're talking money. You're not talking hypotheticals. You didn't say, I'd like to make you an offer. You said, I'd like to make you an offer in this dollar amount range. You're talking dollar signs, and that's always going to open up more doors. There's a super pro tip. I hope that helps on the hustle leads. On the automated lead side, which means paying for leads, here's what you got to do. You're looking for situations, right? And I told you before, we are looking for equity and motivation. The idea of finding a good deal is that you need to take a list of people who have equity in their home and have potential motivation to sell at a discount, and you want to figure out a way to get on the phone with them, because that's when you can set appointments and look at homes and make offers. And so how do you do that? There's two ways that I really like to do that. One is direct mail. So you can go on PropStream, you can go on ListSource, you can go on Deal Machine. All of these applications have filters that you can play with, and you can filter for a list of people who have equity and motivation. Once you get your list, you then need to send them mail. I like sending postcards because it's less expensive than sending letters, and I can get to more people, or I can get to the same amount of people more frequently on a similar budget. And the name of the game with mail is frequency and consistency. I send mail to that list, and I just consistently send mail until somebody either says, take me off your list, or come look at my house and make me an offer. Don't overthink it. Just send a piece of mail that says, hi, my name is Henry. I'd like to buy your house on 123 Main Street. I'll pay all your closing costs. You don't have to fix anything. I'll buy it as is. That's really all you need to say. Don't overthink it. Don't spend too much time trying to figure out what the wording needs to be. All they need to know is you're trying to buy their house and solve a problem for them. If they have a problem, they'll call you. If they don't, they'll probably just throw that piece of mail away. The next thing I do is cold calling. Now, I don't cold call myself because it's not my cup of tea. So I have someone who cold calls for me. There's several ways you can get a cold caller. You can hire a service that they are in the business of making cold calls for investors. There's tons of them. You can literally just Google it. Or you can hire a virtual assistant to cold call for you. And the cool thing about virtual assistants is lots of investors are using them to do just that. So you typically don't even have to do lots of training. Just look for people who are already trained, right? And so post an ad on something like Upwork or onlinejobs.ph for a seasoned cold caller. And just make sure that when you put your ad out there, you ask them to provide you with a sample call or a sample calls they've made in the past. That way you can literally hear, before you even interview them, some of the work that they've done in the past to understand, hey, do they even know what they're doing? That way you don't have to hire somebody and train them. You're going to hire somebody that's already trained. And then you download that list of people with equity and motivation. You skip trace that list to get phone numbers, and then you give that list to your cold caller and let them do calling, and they can filter you all the leads that come through that list. And it's a fairly inexpensive way for you to do some cold calling. All right. Now, I'm sure you've heard about direct mail before, and you've heard people talk about how it doesn't work or it's expensive and people just throw the mail away. Well, stick with me till the end, and I'm going to tell you why I think it's a viable option. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below what you've heard about direct mail, or have you tried it and did it work? Let's hear about it. All right, so if you're in that boat of people who think direct mail doesn't work, let me give you my 2 cents. What it takes to be a successful marketer for deals, no matter what strategy you're using, is you have to be relentlessly consistent. It doesn't matter if you're doing hustle leads or paid leads. It doesn't matter if you're doing mail or cold calls. Consistency leads to deals. Now, when it comes to mail, people say, hey, I did a mail campaign. I sent 1,000 letters and I didn't get any deals. Well, that's probably true. The idea is that you're trying to get your piece of marketing in the hands of someone in the exact moment they're thinking about selling. And that just doesn't apply to mail. It applies to any marketing for deals. You want to get some marketing in their hands at the moment they're thinking about selling. And that typically means you're going to have to touch them more than once. They might look at it and throw it in the trash. The second piece of mail, they might look at it and read it and go, oh, somebody wants to buy the house, and throw it in the trash. When they saw that somebody wants to buy the house, in their subconscious, they started thinking about it. Well, what could I sell it for? Oh, I wonder how much I can make. I wonder what they'd offer me. And then they start thinking about, oh, what could I buy with that money, right? This property is probably going to be a pain in the butt to sell. This guy's willing to offer me some cash. I could probably use that money to do A, B, and C. And then they get your third piece of mail and they go, you know what? I'm going to call this guy. And so it took you 3 pieces of mail for that seller to be in the right mindset to want to be interested in selling their property. And so if all you did was send 1 round of mailers one time, that guy wasn't interested at that time. So you have to relentlessly and consistently market. You have to be willing to commit to sending mail more than just one time or 1 month cycle. I shoot for about 7 touches before I'd consider taking somebody off my list. When you hear people say it doesn't work, it's probably because they didn't do it consistently enough for it to work. But direct mail's been working for decades upon decades upon decades in real estate. There's no reason why it won't work for you unless you're not doing it properly. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. Today we covered 4 ways you can actively be looking for good deals in your market. We talked about using hustle strategies like networking strategically with investors, investor-friendly real estate agents, and wholesalers. We also talked about leveraging Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace to find quality deals by being super consistent when you're looking. Then we talked about some paid strategies like sending direct mail and what it takes to be a successful direct mailer. And we also talked about cold calling and utilizing someone to call those leads for you. All of these ways generate leads. They've generated the majority of the leads for the houses that I've bought. Tell me what you think and tell me what strategies that you use that are successful. Let us know in the comments below. That's why we're here. We're here to help each other. We're here to share information and make everybody better. As always, if you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed this content, smash that subscribe button, hit that like button, and give me a follow on Instagram. I'm at The Henry Washington on Instagram. I'd love to keep connecting with you and sharing great real estate information. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you at the closing table.